Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I'm not going to divulge where I am because the algorithms will then limit who is watching me. So what I want to talk about today is I posted a short the other day where I made an observation of the day, where I said the South Africa's education system is not up to par. So I'm going to be talking about all of those things today. So I'm going to wait to see if anybody comes online. I know it's Saturday, very early in the morning in South Africa. So it is not easy for people to come online. While I'm doing this, I can check what else they have. Okay. I'm also recording. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I will not say where I am, as to ensure that the algorithms don't limit my viewership, and for some people, I know it's very early in the morning, like for South Africans, it should be about 9 o'clock for you. So I don't know if I will be getting any viewers. And I know it's a Saturday, so it might be a bit difficult. I see one person that just left, but I think, let me say hi to the one person who joined, and I think it's a Malaysian. I'm hoping for South African viewers, because I'm talking again about the observation I made the other day, which is that the South African education system is not up to par. And hi everybody who has joined. It is not up to par, the South African government, the South African education system. And the reason I said that, and I am still saying it, is based on comments that I get on videos that I made. Hi, I'll just keep saying hi to everybody when they join. Okay, so it will be basically based on things that people say when they comment on topics that I talk about in my videos. Just so you know, I have my TikTok account, I have an X account, and I also have a YouTube channel under the same name, Celeste This and That. Okay, of course on TikTok I do all very short format of stuff, because here I try more to talk to younger people, so I try to make it TikTok friendly, 30-second TikTok attention span. On YouTube it's fleshed out more. Okay, so the topics that I say, the areas that I feel where the South African education system is failing the people, maybe there are more, but because these are the topics that I discuss. So I find that people are not, South Africans, they don't know much history of South Africa, or the history that they do know, it's not right. So I don't know if the school books are just, and I'm talking mainly about like high school students and university students. I'm not talking about like the older people, okay? It's either that the school books, I don't know, maybe the way the history is written, it's not written correctly, I don't know. But anyway, the history of South Africa, I find they don't know a lot about it. They don't have adequate apartheid knowledge. Apartheid was such a serious, and it forms such a important part of being South African, and yet somehow people don't have enough knowledge of apartheid, because they don't get taught. Okay, I think. Then the other thing is history of the colored people. Another thing, people don't know what colored people are. They don't know where they come from, where they originate from. They don't know what their ancestry is, things like that. I don't know, but anyway, that's how it is. Okay, and then so because all these things I'm talking about relate to anthropology, genetics, and evolutionary biology. So these three subjects is where it is really lacking quite a lot. It's lacking very badly in these three. And then the last thing is also, people don't seem to know what is the swiping thing. It's showing me. It's showing me to swipe. I don't know, or someone is swiping, I don't know. Anyway, the other thing that I find people in South Africa don't know what it is a coalition. I think it's because our democracy is only 30 years old, and all the while we've only had one party who kept winning the elections. Last year, there was no party that got the majority, so they had to form a coalition. And I don't think any effort has been made in teaching people what a coalition is, because people are talking such rubbish that it's actually annoying. So I feel these are the subjects that if it's not taught in school or at university, I think it should be taught then maybe as extracurricular activities. You know, like I remember when I was at school under Witsco. Witsco was an NGO which was associated with the University of Witwatersrand, and when I was in Cape Town, it was the University of UCT. It was called Shoko, and I was first with Witsco. I was first just a participant, but then I became a Witsco group leader. Okay, so I had to actually conduct the lessons, and then same with Shoko in Cape Town. So I'm thinking, I don't know if there are such what do you call it, if there are such organizations still in South Africa where people can go, especially students, they can go where the facilitators there actually deal with these issues, because maybe these subjects, there's no time in school to learn this. So if they can go there and teach this. Now I'm interested in this, in doing this, because I used to be a Witsco and Shoko leader, as I've said before. So I wouldn't mind volunteering myself, but of course mine has to be online because I'm a world traveler. I'm not always in the same country. But you know, now we have the internet. So let me see. More likes can attract viewers. Oh, please people like so that more people can come and watch my video, because I think this is a very good video for South Africans. Okay, I mean, if you're not from South Africa, you can listen, but it's very important for South Africans, because this is a video about South Africans who are being shortchanged by the education system in South Africa. And I'm saying this based on comments that I receive on my videos. I can see that these comments have zero critical thinking behind it or no knowledge about the subject at hand. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first subject I'm talking about, the history of South Africa. So I'm just going to go in, like maybe talk about two things that I've noticed, like in these comments, what I find like is glaringly obvious that people don't know. With the history of South Africa, I find that most people, I mean those who interact with me, they don't know that the white man from the Netherlands, the Dutch, they came to South Africa in 1652. They did not discover South Africa. South Africa, the land was always there. It was not called South Africa. It had no name, but I'm going to refer to it as South Africa. But that land was always there since the beginning of time. It's not like they discovered it. And why they also didn't discover it is because there were already people living there. Now, a lot of South Africans don't seem to know that. They think the white man came and discovered it. So that is why it belongs to, South Africa belongs to the white man. No. Before the white man came, there were already people living there. These people, indigenous people, they were already living there. The Khoi San, two tribes, Khoi and San. In the olden days, Hottentot, Bushman, that's what they called. But now we need to be politically correct. You have to say Khoi San, which is just Hottentot, and Bushman, same thing. Okay? So that is the main thing that I find people they don't even know that about the history of South Africa. Okay? The second thing is apartheid knowledge. Again, I find that a lot of South Africans, maybe because they're young, they were born after 1994, they're born in the new South Africa, so they don't know about apartheid, they don't learn about it, or maybe the information that they're getting these days is just not right, it's not true. I lived through the apartheid, so I actually experienced it firsthand. So anyway, what I find they don't know, the most important things, they don't even know that non-white people during the apartheid had no voting rights. As a non-white, you were not allowed to participate in politics. You couldn't vote. And all non-white political parties that used to be before the apartheid was implemented were all banned. Now this, they somehow can't see. They don't know this. The other thing is the entire South Africa during apartheid, there was no freedom of expression. Okay, you could not go out in the street and just simply protest. I mean, you can do that, but for sure you're going to get tear gassed, shot at, beaten, detained, thrown in jail. Some people got hanged. That's what would happen to you. You could not just, like they do now, just talk on the internet and talk a lot of rubbish and that. And there was no such thing. So most South Africans don't know this. This is like fundamental information that they have to know. Non-whites had no voting rights. Everybody, there was no freedom of expression. And the other thing that they also like to always say is apartheid was better than what is happening in South Africa now. The thing is, when they say this, I understand what they're saying, because during the apartheid, things were efficient, it ran efficiently, it was cleaner, the crime rate was very low, there's actually almost no crime rate, it was just hunky-dory. But what they don't understand is all that stuff that was happening, only a privileged few experienced that part. The rest did not have that. Things were not running, things were not working, they didn't have electricity, they had to buy their own school books. Sometimes there were like only one school for 10,000 people, things like that. Okay, so that kind of statement is just not right when you say apartheid is better. Okay, you can say, but then you must know who was it better for. Okay, because it was not everybody. It was better for maybe 100% of white people. Apartheid was definitely better. It was better for maybe 30% of colored people. It was better for about 30% of Indian people. And it was better for maybe 0.003% of black people. If you say it like that, then yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. But somehow, people don't know this. South Africans today don't know this because they don't get taught this. Okay? Right. That's apartheid. Then it comes to the history of colored people. Okay, so if you're South African, I don't have to explain what a colored is. If you're not, you need to go and look it up. But people in South Africa think that colored people, like the white people, lived in some other country, and then they got on a boat, they sailed to South Africa, and then they started living there. Others again think the Khoisan were there. Remember I said they were already there, and then the white man came, and then they were living, and then a miracle just happened, and colored people just appeared. Like maybe God just said, let there be coloreds, and then there were coloreds. That's what they think. Because these people don't know that the Khoisan were already there, and then the white man came, and they started interbreeding with the indigenous people, and that is how this new race was created, the colored race, which then means the colored race, they are indigenous because they originate on the land. They are people of the soil. They already originated on the South African land, and half of their DNA at that time is from the people who were already there. This they don't know. I'm always shocked that they don't know this. Nobody, hi, who's that? Muhammad Azim, hello. Yeah, nobody is teaching them this. They think coloreds are these super beings who just appear just like that, we are here. Here we are. Check us out. No, it didn't happen like that. Okay, now, everything that I explained, whether it's the history of South Africa, apartheid knowledge, history of colored people, all this falls under anthropology, genetics, and evolutionary biology. Because if you look at, when I'm talking about colored people, for example, or about the history of South Africa, saying that the Khoi and the San were already there, this can be anthropologically proved. It has already been proven anthropologically where the Khoisan people originated from and where the colored people originated from. That is anthropology. Okay? Same with evolutionary biology. If you look at evolutionary biology, it will prove that Homo sapiens originated in Southern Africa. And the closest relative to the Homo sapien, like the first Homo sapien, is San. Okay, so this is just evolutionary biology. They don't learn this either. Then you have genetics. Because if you take a colored person today, someone who is classified as colored, because again, someone can be classified as something, but that's not really what they are, because, racial classification is it's a social construct. Your government will decide everybody who looks like this is this race, or everybody who they decide. But genetically, this is science. This is not a political or social construct. So if a colored person had to have their DNA mapped, from there they can see whether they are really colored, because in the DNA mapping it will show whether you have San or Khoi genetics. It will show. It doesn't matter how many thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago your ancestors lived, it will be there, especially South Africans, because some coloreds, their Khoisan people only their Khoisan ancestors only started mixing the late 1800s, early 1900s. So they really have the gene is very prominent. Some, they already started mixing in 1652 onwards. Okay, but the gene, it will be present in the DNA. But because people don't understand genetics, it doesn't matter how many times you explain to them. Yes, I may not look like a colored, but I am, because it's in my genes, because my ancestors were Khoi, or my ancestors were San. They do not get that. Yeah. So yeah, because they don't learn, they don't know these things, so they talk a lot of rubbish. It's very irritating and very annoying when people talk rubbish. Okay, so the last thing is coalition. This one very quickly. Like I said early on, coalition is a new thing in South Africa. We are a young democracy. People don't know, some of us have only been able to vote since 30 years ago, so it's like not like other people who have been voting hundreds of years already. Okay, they don't understand that in a coalition, all decisions has to be voted. Any decision has to be voted on, and everybody has to sign whether the decision, they yay for the decision or nay for the decision, and then the majority, that decision will go through. They still think, look at ANC, they did this. Look at ANC, they did that. Look at ANC, they did that. No, the new government is the GNU. So anything that is done now, the GNU, they did that. The GNU, they did that. The GNU, they did that. And yes, maybe within the party, maybe one party was like, no, I'm against it. I don't want it. It doesn't matter. They are a coalition now. All these decisions they make together. Whether they are against it or for it, we have to look at them as a unity, as a whole, as one group. One group. Because that is how they move. You cannot extract one party out and make a big hoo-ha over what one party. They themselves have to work as a unity. Okay? So, just to finish off, so again, what I would like to do is to, maybe once a week, I will do a video like this where I take subjects, if people want, and we can do a lesson on that particular subject. We will apply critical thinking, because I'm not a lecturer in any of these subjects. I'm just a layperson like you, but I want to show you how even people like us, who are not experts in these subjects, like the history of South Africa, how we can learn it, and how we can use critical thinking to apply it every day in conversation and in how we view the world. Okay? So thank you for everybody who joined, who watched. See you around. Have a good day. Bye-bye.